Hi, good evening. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome. My name is Obingako. Welcome. We live in a different time. We live in the time where there is internet, there is social media, there is a lot of information, data flowing everywhere. We seem to not have so many excuses anymore to dare to achieve our dreams, to dare to go after our desires. And one of them that I like talking about is people who have the passion, the desire to build their own businesses, to become entrepreneurs, and to go after their dreams. It is it is a new time, it's a new day. A lot of us can go after our dreams. But entrepreneurship, they say, is high stress profession, if you want to call it a profession. It's high pressure lifestyle. If you don't have self-esteem, if you have not built it, people who don't have their self-esteem rightly placed, there are people who become disturbed when other people are succeeding. There are people who uh, give up when they meet difficulties in their dream, in their quest, to achieve their dreams. If your self-esteem is not that much in place, and every one of us is working on the self-esteem daily, it's a progress. You don't achieve it until maybe you are out of time. So if your self-esteem is weak, you exaggerate your mistakes, and sometimes you don't even own up to any mistake at all. You want to blame another person. When your self-esteem is weak, your dream, you're not able to set a far dream. So what I want to talk about is rebuild your self-esteem to achieve your dreams or your dream as an entrepreneur. Work on your self-esteem. If you are from the country that I come from, which is Ghana, and you're from the continent that I come from, a place where you see consistent or perpetual underdevelopment and slow progress, has a bit to do with the way the people see themselves, self-esteem, the way they've been conditioned to see themselves. If you see a family which has been consistently over the years been poor, there is a self-esteem issue that they have not looked at. If you see any race, any tribe, any community which live in perpetual poverty and struggle and lack, it's because they have not looked at their self-esteem. Because without it, you can't take risk. You can't pursue your dream. You can't dare, because you'll be crippled by the fear of failure, by the fear of what other people think. And so if you want to be the one that you want to achieve your dreams as an entrepreneur, you would want to look at that subject. And there are a lot of things that have come after your self-esteem. Your self-esteem, if you come from this part of the world. We all need quality amount of self-esteem to achieve our dreams, particularly if you come from this part of the world as African. There are so many things that will come against you as you dare to develop yourself, as you dare to develop your dreams, as you dare to work towards you building your business. There are so many things that will come, and every one of them that is not good is coming not to make you poor, not to take your money, not to let people come to you, but it's coming to take your self-esteem, to make you not believe that you can get to that dream. All challenges, they come to make sure that you lose self-confidence. Knowingly or unknowingly, there are major things that have also contributed based on how they've been introduced to us, that have also contributed to us having low self-esteem. Their education, the school, the training that they have given us, they have contributed to this low self-esteem that the Africans have. If you doubt that, look at the World Cup. You will know that there is a self-esteem issue, or there is a self-esteem issue. The other time that they were playing World Cup somewhere, and Ghana was playing penalties, there was this guy who was shaking virtually to take the penalty, and he missed it. He was the captain of the team. His self-esteem was weak. If you go to school, they will tell you that if you're that intelligent, you become successful, you become rich. So after school, if you don't find that, they eat your self-esteem. They even tell us that those who go to school are better than those who don't go. So if I happen not to have gone to school at all, my self-esteem is gone forever. People who can write their names, who can read, who can write, who can speak English, constantly battle with their self-esteem, especially when they meet those who say that they speak English. Now the thing about it is that if I don't speak English and I meet somebody who speaks, if he's speaking English, why should that affect my self-esteem? Because I don't even know whether what he's speaking is right or wrong. Whether what he's writing is good or wrong, I don't know. But the training. So we overestimate the benefits of all this. The school. They pump us, and then when we meet the realities of life, we fail. And when you meet the realities of life and you fail because you were counting on the false self-esteem that school gave you, then you see that you battle with your confidence. Sometimes the professional training. They told you that if you become an engineer, you become very successful. They told you that if you become a biochemist or a pharmacist, you become successful. And you have become one. And you thought that was a good self-esteem to meet life. Technical education has been raised over all the other subjects. But the reality is that separate finances from whatever education or whatever certificate or whatever degrees that they give you. If you don't, it will come to a point that you will struggle with your self-esteem. You meet people after 3 years, 4 years of school, and they have not found job, and their self-esteem is gone. Because they were pumped. They have not found a job and they can't do any business because they didn't prepare for it. And because they told you that if you're a good student, some of us, in our country, if you're very good, you go to read science. So science and mathematics and those things. So if you read them and you finish, and after 5 years you have nothing to do, and the people that you thought were not intelligent, those who did the other ones, seem to have something going, you may not even be able to gather yourself to sometimes even go for any meeting that those guys will be present because your self-esteem was not worked on. Of course, there are other benefits of going to school, but becoming rich and hugely successful, it's a whole different thing. And so there are things that will continually work against our self-esteem. Part of it is even the culture. We are continuously taught to respect the elders, to obey, to accept the status quo, and not to challenge anything. We place more on status than on character and responsibilities. So if you have an idea which is opposite to what the people you seem to be in the society stand for, you have got to be very much stubborn and have a lot of self-esteem to stand up to challenge those thoughts. Now, I'm talking about all these things because if you are going to do a business on your own, or if you are doing a business on your own, if you're an entrepreneur, you have got to have a lot of this. Because almost everything in the society is almost opposite to that which you need to develop your self-esteem and to keep going. Almost everything. So if you don't have a certain amount of it, you'll never dare to go after your dream. If you bring religion in it, then it becomes even disastrous. Because then they tell you that if you don't follow what they teach you, then you will fail. You see, early in the morning, the people who do the dawn broadcasting, their message is one: you will not go to heaven if you don't take Christ. And it's constantly like that. Somebody else has the anointing to give you wisdom, in spite of all the trainings and the schools that you have gone to. And you must submit to the authority, or you will not succeed. Now, these things, whether somebody designed them for us or we designed them ourselves, so long as I'm concerned, a lot of it have been designed to eat away our self-esteem. Not to build ourselves, not to help us to build ourselves, to challenge the status quo, to develop an independent mind, to develop strength, to pursue our dream. Because to go after you becoming a business. For instance, if you talk to a lot of these Lebanese people or the foreigners who do business here, you can see the strength of their mind. A lot of things that they can tell you right away that this is my friend, this is no, I'm not going to do this. If you're not paying this money, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to lie to you. This is, why? Because they have gone through a lot of processes to think as humans and to stand and believe in what they stand for. When you see in a culture where people find it difficult to be upfront and to be clear and to be straight away with you and say that, listen, I cannot do this. In spite of what you think, I can do this. This is what I can do. If you don't, do you see how we struggle as a people to be upfront with somebody to say that I'm sorry, this is not what I can do? We've been conditioned to go to to just exhaust ourselves so much to do something for people, even if we don't have the capacity, even if they make us very much uncomfortable, even if we don't know the answer. It's because the self-esteem has been weakened. And we replace that by Ghanaian hospitality. I don't think if you are that much hospitable, we should be hospitable to our people first before the foreigner. So I link it, perhaps to self-esteem. Exhausting yourself so much to appease another person at all costs, even if the person does not care that much about you. It's a self-esteem issue. Self-esteem issue. Self-esteem issue. And so if you're going to go through the processes to develop this self-esteem, if you're going to go through the processes to rebuild it, which you need it, if you don't work on it, if you don't rebuild it, you will give up on your dreams to building a business, on your dreams to becoming an entrepreneur or to becoming whatever that your dreams are. And if the self-esteem is weak, you will not be different from any other. Unfortunately, subconsciously, we've been programmed not to stand against the status quo. The status quo. These things that I've talked about, the education, sometimes the religion, the culture, and how we have gone through them, and how they have built us. They have not helped us to so much believe in ourselves, to believe in our intelligence, to believe in our skill, to believe that we can dare to try something, to go against what everybody else thinks, if we know that is right. And those are the things that you need to succeed as an entrepreneur. You don't just go against everybody just because you think you just have to be opposite. But the reality is that the journey is that hostile and lonely and harsh that you cannot go with the masses mindset. And yet, they have groomed us to be that much socially common and uniform. Can you tell the people that you are not coming for the funeral because you are working on a project and that project will fail or is in a critical situation that if you try to leave the project, a lot of difficulties will come? No. Can you say that I am not coming to the church program because I am in the middle of a business that if I don't focus on it, I will fail? No, they will preach to you that now that you have started to become successful, now that God has blessed you, you have turned yourself against God. You cannot stand. There are so many things that we can't, you dare not stand because the programming has been for us to be submissive, for us to be subservient actually, against our own dreams. Even though life throws at you tests that you have to pass yourself to qualify, but the conditioning that we have gone through, the training, the culture. Why can't you say that, listen, yes, I know there is a funeral, but I also know that this project that I'm on, this business that I'm on, I'm in the middle of a critical thing that if I move car to come to that funeral, I will lose a lot. Self-esteem issue. Even sometimes people will just come and say that this is my daughter, this is my son. Employ them. And you know very well that your business is even struggling. You can't pay a salary. But you will still want to say that no problem. Why? Because you've been conditioned. I have been conditioned. You as well. Not to say no. Oversensitive to people's feelings. Because you don't want to be seen as controversial. You You don't want to be seen as somebody who is bad. It's a self-esteem issue. It's a self-esteem issue. So everything that we've been programmed, or almost not everything, but a lot of the things that they have trained us, they have eaten away our self-esteem. They have hindered. As a matter of fact, when we even link it to arrogance, if somebody has a healthy self-esteem, we link it to arrogance. I remember there was a time that I was talking to a lady, and I was trying to negotiate and push her to make a decision. And she was like, "No, I won't do it because of the way you're coming too aggressive. So I don't want to deal with you." Maybe I was going too aggressive. But I only expected her to also give me a side of the argument. And so, if the police stops you, even if you have kept somebody in the boot, or even if you have stolen somebody's things, and you're that much respectful, they won't say anything. It's all honorable, go. But when you're right, and you challenge them, they will punish you. They'll punish you. The other time that they had issues in the Supreme Court, you saw the other guys who thought that they were right, so they were arguing. They punished them. And the other guys who had insulted, who had said a lot of things, were not punished because they were seen as respectful. This is the country we live in. This is the culture we live in. And that's why I think that until we build our confidence as African people, to let people be humans and challenge the status quo and put up their argument and present their positions as full human beings without us talking them into submission and into our authority, under our authority, we will not be able to produce a lot of people who have healthy self-esteem to build their dreams. Because unless, in the absence of the self-esteem, we can only wait for somebody to create something for us to just follow. For you to take a path that nobody has taken, you need some level of self-esteem. And that's why it takes a lot of it for you to become an entrepreneur. You cannot say that you want to become an entrepreneur and your self-esteem is that weak. You'll struggle. You can't take the load. You'll be so much depressed. Because you have got to have a mind of your own. If you have self-esteem, you believe in what you also think as a human being. And you can say no to something if you have trained yourself, if you have built it. You don't get disturbed because other people's businesses are succeeding or other people's families are succeeding, because you focus on what you're building, because you have self-esteem. You know that this is what I can do. This is what I commit myself to do. You cannot even focus on achieving your dreams if you don't have your self-esteem thought out and built. Most of us, when somebody says something that we have been successful at, our first answer is, it's the grace of God. That's what you have trained us to say that. It's the grace of God. And we mention God in every statement, and we hear God in everything that we do, except in our honesty, except in our kindness. Because it's just a say. You have got to own up a certain part of responsibility if you see success. You cannot just say that it's because God. There is something that you did that was right. That's why you succeeded. And if somebody asks you, or if somebody would want to ask you how, and how come you got to this stage, you can't just say that it's the grace of God. That, for me, is a lie. There is something that you did There's something that you committed. There's something that you focus on. There are some right decisions that you made. You work hard. You plan well. You were working when everybody else was sleeping. You put in some effort. But religion, as they have taught the Africans, will tell us that even if you succeed, it is the grace of God. Because they have to attack the self-esteem for you to submit. For you to submit. That's why we are not producing a lot. Yes, mention the name of God. I think that God set principles. The principle of hard work, of planning, of good decision making, of knowledge, of understanding. I think those are the things that God has set in place. And that if you identify those things and you use them, you become successful. And so if you want to say that is God, I would want to pick it from that position that God set the laws there. So you are working with God's principles than just saying that this particular one is just of God. Because that eats away the confidence. And it does not mean that you are not even giving God the praise for it. The particular reason that shows that you really believe that God helped you to become successful is how you take care of people, of his people, the heart that you help people. People will say that it's by God's grace that I've become rich, but they don't help anybody. So how is that possible? So it's a facade. And so I'm talking about self-esteem and how you have to rebuild your self-esteem, rebuild it for you to achieve your dreams as an entrepreneur. And I dare say that the school train us to eat away our self-esteem. To eat away our self-esteem. The school came the way the British education has been given to the Africans. When they meet the white man, they can't even question. They meet the Chinese man, they are afraid. They have to gather themselves for them to question anything. They will be smiling. They ask them questions, they will be smiling. You can't ask questions. Why? Because by the time that you're through with that education, you think that because you're speaking English means that you have been educated. The culture, they tell you that you can't ask everybody any question. The culture. So even if the chief is wrong, we can ask him. He's been saying this thing for 100 years. It's not working. But we cannot question it because it's a tradition. It's a culture. Now, those practices have eaten away the confidence of the people. That's why we continue to have continuous underdevelopment, or little slow, very slow development. And development that is not really not coming from within us, but it's just the fact that it's coming from outside. Because until the people are confident, until the people have good self-esteem, they cannot question what is not working. And if they cannot question what is not working, how could they even have the strength to endure the struggles that come from that which they want to build? So self-esteem, you have to build it if you want to achieve your dreams. And it's very separate from arrogance and disrespectfulness. Self-esteem has got to the fact that you are who you are, and you have whichever expertise, skills, and you have the humility to accept that this is what I know to do and this is what I don't know to do. Self-esteem. And you have the patience to endure and keep going. Healthy one. And keep try again. You want to try again even if you fail. Because you believe that you have what it takes to achieve it. You're not waiting for somebody to come and help you. You want to take your own destiny into your own hands and even try, even if it means failing. That means that you have self-esteem. You dare. You challenge. You take risk. It means that you have clearly healthy self-esteem. So if somebody wants to control you, somebody wants to control when they wanted to control the others, especially the Africans, they came after their self-esteem. They came after their image of themselves. They told them that they had to look up to them. They told them that whatever they had was evil, was substandard, was subhuman. So if somebody wants to come after your self-esteem, they make you to look up to them. They make you to doubt your intelligence. They make you to doubt your wisdom. They make you to doubt your expertise. They make you to doubt your very existence as a human being. Anything that does the other way, anything that builds your confidence, that makes you believe that you also have something to achieve, something to endure, you have the expertise, anything that also seeks to use the intelligence that you have, that thing is what builds your self-esteem. So you look at those. So you challenge the education. Challenge the education that they gave you. Challenge it. Challenge it. Have they equipped you to ask and to challenge that which does not work? Have they overpromised the benefits of school? Have they? Challenge it, because the results are there. Because a lot of people are confused profession. Like now that people are going to go to university, people are going to choose all kind of courses with the intention that they will become rich. No. Separate that. Your ability to question those things and see that which is working and that which has not worked shows that you have some level of self-esteem. Your ability to open yourself for somebody else to say that what you're saying is a lie, and for you not to get angry and fight, and for you to also put up your argument to say that no, I don't think that what I'm saying is a lie. What I think is that what I'm saying is also good. If you are brought up in any home where as a child they talk to you like you're nothing, they beat you when they didn't have to beat you, they made you into submission, and they always exaggerated your mistakes and your errors, and they told you that you are not intelligent, you will grow up as an adult with a bad one. Self-esteem will be very weak. You could be 40 years, 50 years, and you still not have the strength, the spine to challenge anybody, because the self-esteem is weak. They say that some tribes in Africa, in Ghana, are proud. I don't think so. I think that there are some things in those tribes, their culture, that seems to encourage people to dare and to go after their dreams. And if you are brought up in any environment that encourages you to become successful, to dream, to live, and they celebrate your achievement, then there may be some things right in those cultures. And that's why you see that in cultures where people are encouraged to dare and they celebrate successes, those cultures have been able to produce a certain number of business people, a certain number of people who can dare and dream and think and challenge if something is wrong. If you have good esteem or good self-esteem, you are the one who will sacrifice your time, your resources, sometimes even your life, for the benefit of others, because you dare to go beyond yourself. When your self-esteem is low, you only fight for yourself. You never fight for the big picture or for the good of others, because your self-esteem is low. When the self-esteem is low, you never go against anything that is not known, that is not predictable. You never challenge anything because your self-esteem is low. So work on that. Because the path that you have taken as an entrepreneur, most everything is opposite. They will laugh at you, they will ridicule you, they will challenge you, people will fight you, people will demand things that you don't have, and there will be constant lack of money and all those. Till it gets to a point that you start to become successful, there will be challenges all over. So if your self-esteem is weak, you will not stay. You give up. Or you struggle. You will not succeed. Your growing will be slow because you don't have a mind of your own. There are philosophies that you have to develop yourself that nobody may have told you ever anywhere. You should be able to challenge things and say that no, I don't agree to this. Even if you are not telling anybody, you are telling yourself that this one is not true. And I can do it this way. You cannot innovate. You cannot be creative if you submit to every idea and you never challenge anything. The moment you start to rebuild your self-esteem, you work on it, you start to look at life from a different light. You start to look at that which does not work, that which has been deceptive, that which may have been a lie. And that's why they say that, oh, most of these successful business people, they drop out of school. You know why? They drop out of school, but their confidence was high. That's why they could drop out of school. Many people will never dare ever think of dropping out of school. Why? What am I going to eat? My parents will kill me. So when your self-esteem is low, even when you see the dream, you will not go for it. Because you cannot go against what others think. You cannot challenge anything. Because you've not been brought up to believe in your own ability to reason and think and plan. And unfortunately, even those who have gone to school, degrees, have been pushed, so to say, into submission. And sometimes into submissions to traditions and ideas that have stagnated us as a people. Because they don't want to be seen as somebody who is always challenging something. And until we produce a lot of people who are challenging the things that are not working in our country, on our continent, we will still be a continent that is slow in development. All innovations, all new ideas, all creativities that you see around were done or were started by people who were ready to challenge those things that they felt were not right. But without some amount of self-esteem, you will not ever challenge anything. You will never challenge it because you will not believe that you have that ability to ever dare to say that this one I think is wrong. I don't agree to it. So as an entrepreneur, from the conception of your idea to getting it to work as a model, to raising the funds, building the team, selling, delivering the project, it's all going to call for your ability to think, to plan, to structure, to train, to develop. And if you don't have a certain amount of self-esteem, none of this you will do. None of this you will do. You will not be able to plan. You will not be able to structure. You will not even be able to delegate. Because you will not believe anybody. You will not trust anybody. You think that everybody is there to get you, to cheat you, to lie to you, to take your money. Because your self-esteem is in trouble. You be the one that when you have to make the business idea or the business decision, you have to call your prophet. You have to go and call a prophet and for the prophet to give you direction. Because you have no mind of your own. No mind. You have to go and call them. So in Africa, the culture has come against our self-esteem instead of it building it. The religion has come against our self-esteem instead of the religion building it, telling us that we are created in the image of God And God is wise, God is kind, God is love, God is creative, God is powerful. Instead of them to tell us that, they've been telling us that we are going against God, so we won't go to heaven. We will die, we will not marry, our business will fail. Those are the things that they continue on to tell you. The moment you decide not to listen to them, they fight your confidence all the time, your abilities. And until you focus on improving your decision-making skill, your implementation skill, your people skill, your self-esteem will not lift. Because the moment you become better and you start to get results, you see that you start to get confidence that you can have something. So constantly, if somebody else has to give you decision, idea, direction, when are you going to ever take ownership and believe that I also have something as a human being to make the right choice, even if it fails? So religion has taken it. The culture has come against it. If you're a woman, there's a lot that you have to do to keep your self-esteem intact, especially if you're a woman and you do business. Because, I've told you that if you're a woman and you don't have a husband, it means you're unsuccessful. How is that true? If you don't have a child, it means those things can eat people forever. Even if they are succeeding with their life mission, even if they are succeeding with their dreams, with their businesses, and sometimes you may not even that much worry about it. But if you don't psych yourself, if you don't build your self-esteem, these men there tell you that why woman, why do you want to become? Where is your husband? It's amazing how society, how culture fights women. So we have forced them into submission. You hear the marriage people, the married people, the man is always asking for the woman to submit. They want to kill her self-esteem. They want to take everything. So if you see a woman who is that much intact and confident, not arrogant, confident in her abilities, in her choices, in her decisions, sometimes if you see the people we call career women, most of them, it's not that they are arrogant. They may not be. But a lot of the guys are asking for submission. And they go to the Bible. It's amazing. It's coming from the culture. It's coming from the culture. So if you're a woman, you have to work on your self-esteem. Don't let anybody use the fact that you're a woman to stop you from getting to your dreams and building your business. And there's nothing wrong if you're a woman and you want to build your business all by yourself. There's nothing wrong. And you should be strong enough to take people, employ them, train them, and develop them. Sometimes they could be men, but show the leadership, show the confidence, because that is what it takes to build a business. Not everybody can develop an idea into a business and employ 1 or 2 or 3 or 20 or 50 people. Not everybody. So if you start to see that what you believe in is working, don't get anybody to talk into unnecessary submission. Because the moment you lose your confidence, the moment you lose your self-esteem, you will lose the business. You will lose the dream. You will lose the fight. So keep your self-esteem intact. When you're succeeding, keep it intact. And when you're failing, keep your self-esteem intact. You also have a mind to make the right choice, to make the right decision. You're a full human being. All your choices in your family should not be made by somebody else. That's why you are there. You are a human being. You are responsible. After all, if it's good, it's good for you. If it's bad, it's nobody's business. It's your business. So take responsibility. Develop your self-esteem. Build it. Build your self-esteem in terms of your ability to handle disagreements from people, controversies from people, ridicule from people, mistakes. You should build your self-esteem to handle the mistakes. If they come, show up and deal with it. When there's a trouble, deal with it. Stay. Don't cry and weep and panic. and go from one malam to the other, one prophet to the other, and people can go anywhere just because there is a problem. It means that your self-esteem is weak. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe that you have what it takes to get back into the game and fight or win. And that is what part of the training that they have not given us as a people. So, you have to rebuild yourself. Build those things yourself. The ability to say that, okay, I'm also strong enough to keep going, to fight it. Yes, you can ask for advice. You can ask for decision, clarity from other people. You can ask perspective from other people. But the decision has to be yours. You have to make the choice to say that this is where I wanted to go. After having listened to everybody, this is the decision that I make, and be ready to deal with whatever comes up. Because then you are a human being. Then you are making choices as a full human being. But if you leave most critical decisions of your life in the hands of others, like the way people are calling all kind of people, because people, hey Eric, because people have been taught in our culture, in the name of tradition, to submit, in the name of religion, to hang their lives for some people to make decisions for them. As a business person, as an entrepreneur, you have to be strong and responsible. People are looking for oil all the time when there's a problem in their business. Going for oil, then somebody else will break something. They are always breaking something. Ancestral case, whatever case. These are all things to break your confidence. A lot of them are all lies. How can they be talking of ancestral case all the time? How about the blessing? Because somebody else wants you to be submissive. So they use religion to take away your confidence so that you can continue to come to them whenever there's a problem. If you run away to people all the time when there's a problem, look at your confidence again. And so as a business person, business is full of troubles, challenges, difficulties. Money is there, money is not there, people will run, people will come, project can fail, project can win, all kind of things can come up. You need a certain amount of self-esteem to keep going. So work on that. And when you meet the white people, don't over smile. Extremely. Ask questions, intelligent ones, and look for answers and demand respect. And if people talk to you anyhow, demand respect. Because if you let people talk to you anyhow, and you go to the room and you cry, it will affect your self-esteem. It will affect your self-esteem. So you go anywhere, people looking down at your business, look at your self-esteem. And if you worry about those things so much, it means that you have no work on your self-esteem. When people disagree with you and you panic and you become pain, when people criticize you and you become angry, look at your self-esteem. Let people be people. They can criticize, they can fight, they can bring out their own ideas. You can also put your ideas, debate if they want to. But you're a full human being as everybody else is. So don't hang your life. Pursue your dreams. Improve them. Live as a full human being with your life on responsibility. So my name is Kwabena. I have talked about self-esteem. Rebuild it. Work on it as an entrepreneur. Without it, you will run away. If you don't build it, you'll be the one chasing people everywhere because there's a problem. So you need quality amount of it, self-esteem, to achieve your dreams. And I said that school training has taken a lot of esteem from us because they overhype the school. Instead of them telling us to become better as people, developing ourselves, they put the confidence in the school. So when you can read, you can speak English, you can get that engineering degree, they told you that once you get that, you become successful. Instead of them telling you that once you build the self-esteem and you build the strength and the courage, you can become successful. No, they focus on the course instead of the people. So by the time you finish that, your self-esteem is being replaced with those things. And that's why when you don't find that, after a while you see that you are not confident in yourself anymore, because they didn't train you to be confident in yourself at all. And a lot of people also believe it so much in the fact that when they get good job, it means that they will become successful. So somebody without job then has no self-esteem. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. As a matter of fact, the things that will make you successful are not even technical. The people who can sell, who can lead, who can manage, who can build businesses, and those things don't have any required training. That's a fact of it. If you want to become a lawyer, you have to go and pass some exam. If you want to become a doctor, you have to go through all this school and write. If you want to become an engineer, go through for something and write. You know, architect, the same. If you want to become a manager, a salesperson, an entrepreneur, it just takes your ability to work on yourself and to believe that you have what it takes to lead, to manage, and to build, and to endure the troubles, learn the people skills, be patient, be persistent, have the ability to plan and set goals, and to lead people, build the right industry culture. Those are the things that will make a lot of people succeed in this all through life. Not so much your technical skill, because the technical people are always being managed by those with the leadership ability, people who can manage. And those things, just anybody with healthy self-esteem will be able to manage people well. Because without it, without good health esteem, self-esteem, you cannot be a leader. And success is with people who can do this. Take risk, communicate with people, be able to train people and inspire people to lead themselves. Those abilities will only come because you have worked on yourself. You know, your ability to persist when nothing else seems like working. You know, so self-esteem really takes a lot, and it gets a lot of things done. If you have one, you see that you are responsible and you're character driven than status driven, and you can solve problems when you have work on your self-esteem. You don't panic when there are difficulties, and you don't exaggerate the problems and the mistakes, because you have worked on yourself and you know that you have what it takes to develop that and to solve that. And so if the culture is that, because the culture is telling you to be humble, to be respectful, and respect the elders, the chiefs, even if what they're doing is wrong, you can't challenge it. What they're doing to us is that they destroy the self-esteem that we have. So you're always shouting at the son, at your boy, beating them because they ask you a question. So they have to be respectful. And then you, as a grown-up man, when you go to church too, somebody else is trying to tell you. As a matter of fact, there was a time I was in church and somebody came to me and said that, Oben, you are arrogant. You have to be humble. And I had never said anything to this man, never challenged him. And this was a guy just about my age. He was demanding respect when I had not, because he has wrong understanding of what respect is, of what arrogance is. Because for him, if you don't think like him, if you don't accept the errors that he is saying, it means that you're arrogant. Humility is your ability to lift another human being. Help, show kindness. That is humility. But the man had a wrong understanding of it. So, thank you very much for watching. So, work on your self-esteem as an entrepreneur, because you're going to need it. And if you don't do it, the religion will take it out. You live in perpetual fear. Fear of failure, fear of not marrying, fear of not going to heaven, fear of poverty, fear of death. They will talk you into it, control you. The culture will talk you into submission, and everybody else will talk you into submission. So work on yourself, because you need it to succeed. You need it to go through all the challenges and to keep going. You need it to get the finances right back on the right track. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you.